Hometown Murder Tour is a true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only, assuming you find us entertaining.
That being said, stories of violence, sexual assault, and other criminal acts will be discussed, using adult language. Consider this your warning.
Hey Sarah,
Hi, Amy.
are you ready for this?
Are you ready for this? Wait, how did that sound? Bum 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 bum.
Y'all ready for this? Yep.
Except that's not our theme
Let's
song.
get ready to
Rumble. What was that called? Jock
jams.
Jock jams.
Yeah. So that's our new jingle because no one ever
No one sent us
the music. So
now we just
say, yep, that's it.
So take that, listeners.
Yeah.
We'll do that to you. Take it.
Punishment.
Be happy about it.
So
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We're back in the cellar, people. The Cellar Dwellers, Inc.
Yep.
However, tonight I'm enjoying not coffee, but a beer. It's kind of been. It's only Tuesday,
That's all right.
and I need a beer.
You can
It's been a week.
always have a beer.
It's been a week. So if you want to know what I'm drinking, since I always tell you, it's a Boulevard, but it's their new Easy Sport, so it's only 99 calories or 90 calories, so it's kind of a light drink. You might enjoy it if I'm trying to watch, the waistline a little bit.
She says after what was the coffee drink you got?
Oh, yeah. The last thing I advertised was the nitro cold brew over vanilla ice cream. So I'm pulling it back with the 90-calorie beer.
Yeah.
That's just how I roll, people. All right. You want ready to jump into this?
I think we're doing this. This is a WTAF with
Yes.
HMT. So we are going to... Let's do this.
Let's
I think
do
I'm
it.
first.
You're first. Last time was teeth, feet, so I went first.
Yeah.
So you go.
Okay. So my story is pretty fucked up. I've been really excited about it because it's...
I know. You've been talking about it.
It's pretty exciting.
Okay.
So, and this may be one of those things that more people know about it than me, and I just sort of came across it.
I'm going to assume everybody knows everything more than we do.
Touche.
Okay.
Touche. So, I don't really have a title for this.
Okay.
But most of the time when you Google things or if you look this guy up, it says Carl Tanzler Corpse Bride is what usually kind of pops up. So that'll be my title.
My favorite kind of bride.
The corpsey kind. Yeah. I'm getting all of my stuff off of Wikipedia.
Of course.
So that's where we're at. So my story starts with a gentleman by the name of Carl.
I feel like we don't need to call him a gentleman already.
Nope. It's, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Of a man named Carl Tanzler. And those of you that want to Google, it's CarlTanzler, and you're going to want to Google this shit because there's some pictures that you're going to want to see.
No pictures, please.
Yeah. So Carl Tanzler, he was born in Germany, but he ends up moving to the United States, like in I think it was like the early 30s, or like late 20s. Okay, 1900s. Okay. So he...
Operator.
Yeah.
Give me the apothecary.
So he's a German immigrant. He has, or had a wife.
Of course. He's a German immigrant. You cannot have anything that's homegrown, can you?
I know. No, it's in the United States. It's in Florida.
Oh,
we're getting there. So he comes to the United States. I thought you were going to make some horrible
German
assumption
joke?
about German people.
No,
and I was listen.
No, my horrible assumption was about you.
Oh, got it. Okay. That's fine.
Continue.
I was just like, damn.
You're like, too soon.
Do we know how to edit? Because we might have to cut this shit out.
Too soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So he had a wife, had 2 children, but ends up coming to the Florida area. I believe it was hold on, I'm scrolling through here on Wikipedia. Yeah, in Key West. Florida. He's by himself. So I don't know where his wife and his 2 children were, if he left them back in Germany or if they were in Cuba, because he kind of was in Cuba for a while. But anyway, he winds up in Key West, Florida. Okay. This you need to know for later. When he was a child, he had several visions that he was visited by his dead ancestor, Countess Anna Constiana von Kassel, and she revealed the face of his true love to him as a child.
Okay.
And the face of his true love was an exotic, dark-haired woman.
Okay,
not his like white-ass German wife that he was like married to.
Already very problematic.
Yeah. So this man, Carl Tanzler, had visions as a child of his true love. His aunt, like his dead ancestor, came to him in his visions and showed him the face of his true love, which was the dark-haired, exotic.
So why did he marry this other woman?
I mean, I don't know if there's a whole lot of dark-haired, exotic.
Oh, true. It
No,
is.
that
Germany.
was a German assumption. That was an assumption.
That's on you, Amy.
That is on me. My bad. So anyway, keep that in mind.
True.
Maybe it's true. Keep that in mind because that's gonna like come into play later. Okay.
Got it.
So in 1930, he's working at a marine hospital. He was a radiology technician. Okay. So back then he was a radiology tech.
They had X-rays back then.
I guess. I mean, I think it was just like.
I feel like they just held up a light.
They just held up a flash bulb, and then your shadow
Yeah.
burnt onto like an image, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Looks normal to me."
Yep.
Have some.
I think that's how radiology works for sure.
Yep, pretty sure. So he's working at this hospital, and he meets a young woman who was a Cuban American woman. Her name is Maria Elena or Helen Milagro de Hoyos.
Well, that sounds very exotic.
You see where this is going to go. Okay, so she actually gets brought to this hospital because she had tuberculosis, which tain't good back then.
No.
Okay. So he immediately recognizes her as the beautiful dark-haired woman that was revealed to him in his visions, right? Of course. Of course. She was known as a local beauty in Key West. So she's like very beautiful, very exotic. And Mr. Carl Tanzler is like,
I want that.
That's my true love. And I
Right.
want that. So he like basically pours everything he can into trying to get her better, gives her a bunch of different medicines. He gives her a bunch of x-rays. I don't know how that would help with your TB, but like whatever. He gives her a ton of gifts and clothes, professes his love to her like on a daily basis, and she's probably just like, I mean, can we just like
forget the clothes, give me those x-rays.
Right. Can we just like not, can you just like give me not tuberculosis? Like, can I have that for a gift? Yeah. So he's basically kind of obsessed with her, but she has tuberculosis, so she ends up dying in 1931.
Well, that was very anticlimactic.
So that's the end, guys. That's my story.
That was
fucked up.
That's really messed
No,
up.
so he pays for her funeral. He actually convinces her family to construct this big mausoleum to like put her body in. So she's like buried in this mausoleum in Key West, and he visits her grave every single night, like every day.
That's healthy. That's a really good sign of quality mental health.
Yeah, like not even like he was a radiology tech, and she was sick, and then he now is like visiting.
They weren't
her grave.
in a relationship other than him being obsessed with her.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. It says that he would come and he would serenade her. He would like sing songs to her, like the mausoleum. She's like locked in. She's like inside this thing, and he's just like sitting out there singing. Apparently, this goes for like a couple years of her just like being dead, and him going and singing to her like coffin or whatever.
Okay.
So he finally decides to sneak in at nighttime and get her body out of the mausoleum.
Sure.
Like over 2 years later.
That's the logical next step for that.
Yeah, because he said that her spirit would come to him when he would sit and sing to her and often tell him to take her out of there. So this man sees visions, and this
You're like-
vision was her telling him, like, hey, you got to get me out of here.
Did they give lithium for tuberculosis? Because I feel like he stole some
He was
lithium.
like sniffing some of that. It says there were a couple websites where I looked at this. He carted her body out on a toy wagon. Like a lot of the websites mention that. So I'm picturing like
this a
radio
movie?
flyer.
Yeah.
Like I'm picturing just like this dead body in a radio flyer wagon, and he's like.
I can't imagine the embalming process was great in the 30s. I don't know.
I mean, maybe the fact that it was in a mausoleum, it's like not as decomposed, but we're still talking a 2-year
body
plus dead body. Right. So it gets better. So he brings her home. Okay. He attaches, her bones are like separated at this point. Like she's got like some skin on her, but like she's falling apart. So it says that he attaches her bones together with wire and coat hangers. So he's like hooking her back. And he puts glass eyes where there now are no eyes.
Okay, no.
Because like her shit's rotting off.
Right.
And as the skin of the corpse decomposed, Tanzler replaced it with silk cloth soaked in wax and plaster of Paris. So he's just like, as her skin's falling off, he's just like putting...
I'll fix you, Maria.
Yeah. As her hair fell out, he would collect it and he turned it into a wig. So he's like still putting her own hair back on her head.
God.
Yep.
This is...
It gets way better. He fills her abdominal chest cavity because like all her organs are just like gone now. So he like stuffs it with rags to keep her like looking like a body. He dressed her in stockings, jewelry, and gloves, and kept the body in his bed. Yep. In his bed.
Pause. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. It gets better.
Okay.
Like.
What the actual fuck?
Right. Yeah. Dead body. It says he had to use copious, according to Wikipedia, copious amounts of perfume, disinfectants, and preserving agents to mask the odor and forestall the effects of the corpse's decomposition.
Please tell me there's no evidence of him like...
Put a pin in that. Well, first of all, it's in his bed. So you know he's like...
I can't.
Doing it, dead body doing it. Like,
no!
you know he is. But
By
also
the way,
there's some proof.
sidebar, necrophilia. Do you know there's 10 types of necrophilia?
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Go ahead and look
like
it
you're
up.
doing it or you're not.
No.
Right?
There's 10, like... I listened to this podcast where they define there's 10 of them. So like
So
when
sort of-
someone is accused of necrophilia, they have categories.
So is it like different sexual acts?
No,
Like, now,
it's like I can't remember.
All right, I'm gonna look
It's
into
not-
that.
I'm just
'cause
saying
curious
I'm not
about that.
here to remember all the facts. I'm telling you to look up the facts, listeners.
This is one I'm gonna look up.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
there
I'm
is
curious
10
about
types.
that.
Do you really want that on your search history, though?
Touche. Hey,
However-
somebody look that up.
Yeah, let us
Tweet
know. However, we do have all this other stuff we've looked up. So what?
Touche. Yeah,
It's
we've
too
got
late.
it. Yeah, that's right. So where was I? Copious amounts of perfume.
Yeah.
This is what got me. In October of 1940.
Okay, 10 years later.
So, yeah, like he took her out. Yeah, we're talking like 8
Yeah.
years or so that she's just like been in his bed. Okay. The lady Hoyos, her last name was Hoyos, who passed away. Her sister starts hearing rumors like, "Hey, old man Tanzler's like banging your dead sister's body," and she's like, "What the fuck?" or whatever. So she ends up going to his home.
No.
And she's like, hey, listen, word on the street is you like have my dead sister's body and you're like doing it with her. Also, some people said you were caught dancing with her corpse in front of an open window.
Oh.
So, like, what's up with that? And I guess, long story short, they end up suspecting it so much that she notifies authorities, they show up, and sure enough, there's her body-ish. Is it even a body at this point?
Well,
because
it's
there's like
rags
so
and-
much like plaster and
Rags and perfume.
right.
imagining.
So he was arrested. He was detained. He was he was examined.
You think?
And he was found mentally competent to stand trial on the charge of wantonly and maliciously destroying a grave and removing a body without authorization. However, the case was dropped because the statute of limitations for that crime had expired.
Oh, good to know. So after a few years, everybody just go dig up a body and recreate it in your bed.
Yeah, and just like hold it for 10 years and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Good.
Her body was examined and then put on public display.
What? Why?
Afterwards, I guess because people were just like, what the actual
Okay.
fuck? Y'all want to see something crazy? And it was Florida one. And it was the 30s or 1940.
Sorry, Florida.
Just kidding, we love you. But also,
I don't know.
I mean,
Why?
yeah, people just, they would do shit like that back then. It said almost 7,000 people viewed this corpse at one point. They eventually returned her body to the same cemetery, but they bury it in an unmarked grave, so like he can't come back and find her. But he's totally fine and competent, and we shouldn't do anything about it, but we have to...
Walking around, living his life after that.
Yeah, totally fine. In fact, I clicked on a bunch of... There was like newspaper... Somebody had done where they took a bunch of newspapers. It's also super fucked up. The public response to this is not what you would think. Like, most people, I feel like, would... What the actual
outraged?
fuck this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, are you kidding me? They viewed as he was just like this hopeless romantic.
Oh my God.
And he was just eccentric.
No.
And bless his little German heart, because he just loved her so much that he just couldn't bear. They viewed it as like...
Where are his kids in all this?
Good fucking question. Where's his wife?
Down the hall?
Like his wife, who's just like,
She was
hey.
also in the bed.
Yeah, she's just like, can I? She, like, so is the corpse in the
corpse
middle.
was the sandwich.
Yeah.
So
Corpse sandwich.
It was a corpse sandwich.
Yeah. She was like, can I be like big spoon tonight? Or the corpse is always the big spoon.
Well,
I
is
just
she the
kinda
big
wanna-
spoon? She's dwindled down, so she
True.
could be little spoon.
She's like...
I mean, she's more like chopstick.
she's like...
She doesn't really bend that way.
Right. Oh, shit.
I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the best part.
Okay.
So, some more research was done kind of after the fact, after they took the autopsy reports. Apparently, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? 2 physicians who attended the 1940 autopsy recalled later that a paper tube had been... Are you ready? Like, I'm waiting your face. Okay, a paper tube had been inserted in the vaginal area of the corpse that allowed for intercourse. I just need you to... You need me to read it again?
Mm-hmm.
A paper tube had been inserted in the vaginal area of the corpse that allowed for intercourse.
You know what? I kind of feel like he deserved a paper tube.
Well, I kind of... That was my reaction.
That's a lot of harsh edges.
My first reaction was like, oh, so he totally was doing... Like, I knew he was doing it with her anyway.
Right.
But then I was like, paper tube? Like, I pictured like a toilet paper roll.
Me too.
Like-
That's exactly what I pictured.
Yeah, that's what he took.
Yeah.
Like, there's a toilet paper vagina. Toilet paper roll vagina. So yeah, that's the
I'm
crazy story
not
of
okay
the Carl
with this story.
Tanzler corpse bride. I do want to show you some
How
pictures.
did we not all know about this?
Right. This was so...
People, do you know about this?
If you knew about this and you didn't send it to 417 HMT,
get out.
get the fuck out.
You are fired from this podcast.
I need you to see some pictures.
Okay.
And I need everybody...
to Google
You can
it.
do this right now if you'd like.
Yep.
Get out your phone or get
a device.
a device of some kind. Get on Google Images, and I need you to search for Carl, C-A-R-L, Tanzler, T-A-N-Z-L-E-R, corpse bride. You're going to see what Sarah's looking at right now.
Those are some eyebrows.
Look at her fake hair and like her plaster-ass skin.
Hold on, I've got to see that a little bit more. I mean,
And I've got some
he
more
didn't
pictures.
do horrible.
I mean, it's not the worst. But also, I want you to check out this picture. Here's her body. Look at that. That's the cavity.
Oh my God.
That's them, like, they took all the rags and
There's
shit
not
out.
even a paper tube place.
Mm-mm.
It's
just a giant gaping corpse hole.
Oh no. No.
And the wig is off.
Yeah,
so
the wig is
like
off.
Bald.
But the eyebrows are still there.
The eyebrows are still
Those
painted.
are prominent.
Like, oh wait, and I have another one. Hold on. This one is the glass. I want you to see this. Eyes.
What?
That's the glass eyes.
Never show that to me again.
Okay.
Okay, are we done with that?
That is my what the actual fuck.
Okay, I feel like we should cancel this segment permanently.
Yeah.
That was not okay.
Anyway, your turn. You all right?
Mm-hmm. I just want to talk about flowers and unicorns.
Toilet paper roll, though.
Toilet paper roll vagina. Name of the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your turn.
Shake it
off. Shake it off.
Okay. My turn. Mine is not near as disturbing. However, there is a picture.
Good. I
Yeah.
love the pictures.
Yeah. Okay. So, mine's going to be short and sweet.
Okay.
Okay. In 1964, firefighters and paramedics were confronted by an unimaginably gruesome scene at the residence of Helen Conway. They entered the bedroom of the Delaware, Pennsylvania home to discover a scorched, upholstered chair under blackened walls in a corner.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
so walking into the
Yeah,
room,
okay.
they see like the whole
Like walls
corner scorched.
in the chair. Yeah. Okay.
Chair.
Is this? You said 64.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just trying to picture the furniture. That's where I'm going.
At
with
the
this.
foot of the chair. So, chair, picture chair.
Yeah.
Above
Scorch
it,
marks
scorched.
everywhere. Yeah.
At the foot of the chair were the recognizable remains of Conway.
Oh shit! Like her feet,
Mm-hmm.
like feet and legs.
Mm-hmm. Her upper body, along with portions of her chair, had been reduced to ashes.
Oh god.
However, her legs and the rest of the room were unscathed.
Oh, is this like a spontaneous combustion shit?
Yep. Spontaneous human combustion.
Oh my god, that's so crazy. How? Yeah. Okay, keep going.
The fire inspector believed Conway's death was caused by her heavy smoking habit.
Okay.
It was documented that there were several cigarette burns throughout the house and bedroom. I mean, it's the 60s.
It's
people.
1964.
They
Everyone's smoking.
Smoked in bed and shit. Still, there were others who viewed the graphic photo taken at the scene and came up with another conclusion. She was a victim of spontaneous human combustion. Apparently, that is an abbreviation that is recognized SHC. If we want to further.
HC.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Further.
At gmail.com.
Yes. Conway's death wasn't the first or the last to be associated with this phenomenon. However, her case and the photo has been the most iconic. One look at the condition of her remains and the term for SHC is obvious. By definition, so here's some facts. By definition, SHC refers to a purported condition in which humans suddenly burst into flames. Although extremely rare, let's hope,
Yeah, no shit.
the mere thought of being burned alive, besides being spontaneous and seemingly with no cause, is enough to horrify anyone. However, a closer examination reveals something less spontaneous. Fire inspectors, researchers, and skeptics have been able to demystify it and discover some of the factors involved in creating it. So, it is sort of like it is spontaneous. However,
Right.
they have like a real cause for it. But before we just get into some of that, you want to see the picture?
Well-
Have you ever seen the picture?
Maybe there used to be like, yeah, okay. So my question, I guess before we get, I want to see the picture first. Let's
Okay.
do that first. It's straight up like knees down.
Yep.
And look how her legs are like tilted.
Yeah, people just
Oh
Google
my god.
spontaneous human combustion and
Helen
you'll find
Conway
it. Yeah.
is her name. Oh my god. Just like the way it almost even looks like some of her thighs are there too.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally like torso
Like
up.
she's wearing a skirt or something, like a dress, like a calf. What's the word?
You mean caftan, like the
like
one
a
I'm
caftan?
currently wearing?
Yes, exactly. It's Mrs. Roper burned to death. Is what's happening right now.
God, Mrs. Roper.
Oh God.
It's probably that curly hair that did it.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the part. Let me find it. Where they talked about. I thought it was very interesting. Yeah, I should have underlined those guys. Sorry. It talks about, like, the fat content of the body.
Okay.
Okay, so it talks about other people that supposedly had spontaneous human combustion, the victims and the places where they perished. So they look at, like, the commonalities.
Okay.
Many died alone, obviously, but they were typically elderly,
Okay.
infirm.
Well,
I mean, aren't we all? Obese, heavy smokers, drinkers, and or mentally ill.
Shit.
So those were all the commonalities.
So it can't be. I mean, those are just people caught on fire, and they were either
Right.
too old or unable to
get away.
get out.
I don't know. I want to find the part where they talk about, like, the fat in the body, and it's like, you know, like in a old timey candle, like they used,
like a render. Yeah, it would just like
render. That's the word.
melt and burn, and it's just weird. Like that part of her body was ash, but yet the chair's still standing. So it had to burn hot enough,
right,
to completely turn bones and everything into ash,
but nothing else.
But
around
not
it.
burn the
It
chair.
just burned on its own.
Like how?
Oh, here it is.
So is that what the fat does? Just keeps it like.
It's called the wick effect. So, this is one theory of how it happens. It says there have been numerous tests supporting the concept called the wick effect, in which the body burns like a candle. According to the BBC, something. Don't know what that
The
means.
British Broadcasting Channel.
Yeah, I know what BBC is, but then it says one's QED. I don't know what that means.
Oh.
Which brought together fire experts from around the world to look into SHC. It discovered that the body can be set ablaze by its own body fat and burn for hours.
What?
It can also burn in a limited area. Often this is where most of the fat on the body is located. So it makes sense that it was like torso,
Right.
gut up.
Right.
Although she did have some nice gams.
She did have some.
That's a nice
some good
callback
looking
to a
gams.
previous episode. And
Yeah.
thank you to one of our listeners who put the definition of
Yeah.
gams, or the origin.
She tweeted it.
I should have looked up the name, sorry. But thank you for doing that. BBC News reported that the team used a dead pig wrapped in cloth and set it ablaze in a controlled environment for a long period of time. The pig was used because it often resembles a human's fat content.
All right.
Don't call me a pig.
Yeah.
Since then, they've reproduced the same tests with similar results.
Shit.
So it's like, but it says still cigarettes, fat cells, and even alcohol were not enough. In many cases, the seemingly random mix of ingredients inside and outside the body played a crucial role. So basically, nobody knows. But she is not the only one.
Died of those circumstances. Yeah. It's just crazy. Even if it wasn't spontaneous human combustion, the idea that someone. What I never understand is that in all those cases, there's like everything is still around them. The furniture, the
I mean,
and how can you burn that hot? That picture.
Spontaneous human combustion. So if you've ever heard of it or never heard of it or always wondered what it is, go ahead and Google that shit. What was her name again?
Helen Conway.
Yep.
1964 death.
Yep.
It doesn't even look like she tried, like kicked or moved. Like you would think, like her
but
leg.
It's spontaneous because it just
whoosh. Shit, man.
So
What?
the actual fuck.
Yeah.
Well, good news is we're not elderly yet. I don't think we're infirm.
We're not infirm.
We're not obese.
We don't sit in our chairs and with
Smoke.
a cigarette in our mouth and fall asleep.
Nope.
While we have
My
100
only
proof
risk
alcohol in a glass next to us.
Well, that is my only risk factor, is the alcohol.
I'm saying combo.
Oh, right.
Cigarette hanging out of your mouth,
Yep.
lit,
Yep.
and the 100 proof.
Yep.
We don't live alone.
True. So we're safe. Listeners out there, if any of those check those boxes, I don't know what to tell you.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yep.
Sorry you died.
Yep. Spontaneously.
Spontaneously.
Yeah. SHC, bitches.
Yeah. All right. Well,
okay, well, that's it.
On that note, we're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do our little shout out or our where to reach us thing? Do we do that on these?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
What's our format?
What's our...
Yeah, sure. We're on Twitter at Murder Tour, and email is
417 at... No. Start over. Email is 417hmt at gmail.com.
Yes. And so we keep asking, if you have a WTAF story, send it to us.
Please.
Because we're kind of running out, guys. They're hard to find.
They're hard to find. We like to either, if we could get personal WTAFs from you.
We'd love those.
We would love those.
Yeah. Something really fucked up happened to you, send it to us.
Yeah, we'll tell you. We'll tell the world.
We will tell
the whole world.
We don't have to tell your name, but we probably will.
We'll tell them your name and your address, and then give them the email that you used, and we'll tell. No, we won't. We wouldn't do that. But yeah, email us,
Twitter us,
and that's about it.
Because you're already listening to us, so
you figured that shit out.
Where we are,
right?
In the podcast world.
Bye, bitches.
Bye.